Okay.
Can you imagine if there were 300 million more people? Sorry, just a second. Can you imagine that if there were 3 million hundred? Can you imagine that if there were 300 million more people in the world right now? It is the same number of people in the entire U.S. population. If it wasn't for the one-child policy enforced by the Chinese government, there would be 300 million more people on this planet today. The one-child policy was introduced by Chinese government to reduce China's expanding population in 1979. This controversy policy is still in effect today. The policy makes sure that one couple is only allowed to have one child. Although this policy has been effective in achieving its primary goal, it has created other problems that have developed into social and economic issues. The Chinese government and people look at the policy from different rhetorical points of view. The government's opinion and people's opinion differ in many ways. The Chinese government sees the one-child policy as having positive economic and environmental impacts on the nation at large. The policy eliminated potential problems on China's economic and the environment. The government said that China's large population and weak economic foundation at the primary stage of socialism are the initial conditions of national. To become a developed country, China needs to raise its GDP per capita by increase the productivity of workers and increase its capital per worker ratio. Limiting population growth would have facilitated capital growth and educational service to the labor force. If more people were to leave the labor force than enter it, capital per labor would increase. Without family planning, the population increase would seriously affect the improvement of the GDP per capita for the country and individual people. For the environment, a large population may have many negative impacts on it. The Chinese government points out that one-child policy has successfully slowed down the increase of population, preventing 300 million births, equivalent of 1.3 billion tons of carbon emissions and greenhouse gases. The policy has helped the environment, since there was less pollution and more energy per capita as a result of reduction in population. The people who oppose the policy focus on the policy's impact on family values and the increase in gender inequality as a violation of human rights. Generation of Chinese culture has been filled families with siblings. Blood lineage is an important cultural value. The fact that a family required to have only one child has decreased the overall happiness of a family according to numerous researches. People believe that if they all have a happy family, they can improve themselves better in society and reach a better development economically. The policy destroyed the norm that siblings are an important part of family. It would be a shame for children who don't have sisters or brothers. During the tough or happy times, they will never be able to share these moments with their sisters and brothers. And many people also consider that one-child policy as a violence of human rights. The people believe it is the right of individual, not the government, to decide the size of their family. But the fact is that one-child policy has led to a widespread violence against women. It increased gender inequality as a social issue in China. Reports have shown that women, as far long as 8 months pregnant, were forced to abort because of the preference of male than females. Also, family planning officials are also giving incentives and pressure to meet targets to reduce the population increase. They enforce more abortions. Families who don't comply are punished with prison or tough fines, and their children are denied education and employment. In conclusion, one-child policy issued in 1979 has created many major social and economic impact on Chinese society today. Chinese government focus on the value of economic and environment that the entire society at large, while people who against the policy focus on the value of family and siblings and also the human rights. I believe only if we all have a happy family can we create a better society.